Hello everyone, welcome to this tutorial on my simple approach to hand tracking in Godot. Without any expensive tracking setup, using just a simple standard webcam, I can track both my hands and visualize them in 3D in Godot. This project could be a great starting point to use your hands as input, for example in a physics game where your hands can interact with the game world, or in a game where you cast spells with hand gestures. Let's dive in. When working on games, you're probably used to having a single Godot project that contains your entire application with all the assets, scenes and scripts for your game. For this project, however, we actually have two parts: a specialized hand tracking pipeline implemented in Python and the visualization of the tracking in Godot. We can leverage the vast ecosystem for computer vision and machine learning in Python and still use the 3D rendering and physics engine of Godot. At the same time, this is also one of the main limitations of this project, as I have yet to find a good way to package these two into a single executable. To send this data from Python to Godot, we're going to use a networking protocol. These are just standards that define how information is packaged, sent and received between two parties. You might have heard of TCP and UDP before, probably in connection with multiplayer games. However, we can also use these to communicate on the same machine between two applications. There are some great resources out there about the differences of these two if you want to know more. For this project, I chose the UDP protocol, because low latency is more important than every single packet arriving. Let's first understand how the Python project with the computer vision pipeline works. If you're generally interested in more in-depth explanations of the algorithms and inner workings of these image processing pipelines, let me know down below in the comments. For now, it's enough to understand how the process works on a high level. The webcam continuously captures images from the video feed. Each of these frames is passed through a sequence of models. The first model is an object detection model that finds the rough location of every hand in the scene and marks them with a bounding box. Then, for each of the detected hands, the image is cropped to the respective region and passed to another model that then outputs 20 landmark points that identify the different parts of your hand and classify it, if it's your right or your left hand. This two-stage pipeline works a lot better than just naively trying to predict the position of all hand positions directly from the full image. Across multiple frames, these landmark points are tracked to achieve some temporal consistency and reduce jitter. The output of this process is a list of landmark points in a 3D space for each hand. Each landmark represents a part of the hand. Together, all 20 of them give us a good idea of how the hand is oriented in 3D space. Now, we're not going to build all of this from scratch. There's a really cool library called MediaPipe that does all of this already out of the box. If you've never worked with Python before, or you're still using Conda for managing your Python environments, I highly recommend you to download UV. It's the simplest way to install and use Python nowadays. The link to the website is in the description. Once you've installed UV, create a folder for the Python project and run UV in it to create a simple project structure with the following files. The main.py file is where our Python code will live. The pyproject.toml file describes our project configuration and dependencies. The README file can be used for documenting the project. And lastly, a hidden Python version file that pins the Python version is created. Let's first add the required dependencies. We're going to need OpenCV for capturing the frames from the webcam and MediaPipe for the hand detection. This will create a virtual environment folder with the actual Python interpreter and packages, as well as a uv.log file that defines exactly which version of each package and all of its dependencies are used. Now open the main.py file and let's get started by opening a webcam capture and getting a single frame. Then we show this frame in a window and wait for a key press. Now this is only a single image. If we want to have a stream, we'll need to implement a loop that continuously captures new frames and displays them. Now we can actually see more than just a static image. We're ready to get started with the hand detection. To configure the hand detection, we need to create a hand landmarker options object. The first option is a task file that we need to provide. This contains the trained weights of the two models. You can download them from the MediaPipe website. The link is down below in the description. The next option is the running mode that can be set to either image or video. In video mode, it's going to use past information to improve the detections, making them smoother. Set the number of hands to 2, since we want both left and right hands detected. Lastly, you can tweak the sensitivity of each detection with the confidence thresholds. The higher you set these, the more confident the model needs to be to output detections. Now, still before the capture loop, we can create the hand landmark detector from the specified options. Then, inside the loop, we need to convert the OpenCV image to a MediaPipe image, and then call the detect function to get the hand landmarks. The result will be of type hand landmarker result and contain the detected hands with their respective left-right label and the landmark coordinates, both in normalized image coordinates and in a world space coordinate system. Luckily, there are also helper functions directly from MediaPipe to visualize these landmarks. Use the draw function and pass the current frame, landmarks, and some styling options to annotate the landmarks onto the image. Now, if you run the program, you will see your hands with the landmarks visualized in real time. This is cool, but how do we now get these landmarks into Godot? As I mentioned before, we're going to use the UDP networking protocol. The Godot game will act as the server, and the Python script we just built will connect to it and send the hand landmarks. To encode the data, we're going to use JSON to keep it simple and readable. The structure will look as follows. At the top level, there is a right and left key. If a hand is not detected, it will be null. If a hand is detected, it will contain an array of length 21 with all landmarks. Each entry is again an array with 3 items, the x, y, and z coordinates of the respective landmark. To create this data structure, we first need to sort the hand candidates by their score. By zipping the landmarks and handness lists, we can enumerate the hand detection and the landmark positions at the same time, and sort by the confidence score. By default, sorting is in ascending order, so by reversing, the first element is the most confident detection. Then we can iterate through the sorted list and find the highest scored left hand and the highest scored right hand landmarks. We round their positions to 3 decimals as we don't need more precision than that. Finally, we put the JSON structure together and dump it to string that we can send to Godot. Now, before we can send this data, we need to quickly set up a UDP server in Godot. I just created this empty 3D scene with a standard world environment, light, and a 3D camera. Create a simple 3D node that will be the controller for our hand tracking. Add a new script to it where we're going to set up the UDP server. Define a port on which your server should run. Ports below 1024 should not be used, and you should make sure that no other application is using your port. I chose 4242. Create a UDP server variable and instantiate it in the ready function, listening on the defined port. In the process function, we can poll the server. If a client is trying to connect, we accept the connection and print the packages it sends for now to debug. Back on the Python side, we now also define the same port we used before and use our localhost IP. Create a UDP socket and start sending the hand data in the process loop. If you run both the Godot and Python application, you should see some output in the Godot console. It shows some numbers in an array. But why is that? Well, the data is transmitted as bytes, so we need to decode these bytes back into something readable like a string. If we look a bit closer at the encode function in Python, we can see that it actually uses the UTF-8 encoding by default. So in Godot, we also need to decode with UTF-8. Now, if we print the decoded string, we should be able to read our JSON structure. Pretty cool, right? Now what's missing, of course, is to actually visualize these hand landmarks in 3D in Godot, rather than just printing it out in the console. So let's get to work on that. Let's create a script that will handle the drawing of each hand. Make sure to add a class name to it so we can access it from the tracking script. The main piece is going to be this parse function, where we will extract the position of each landmark from the JSON data. Back in the hand tracking script from before, define 2 variables for the left and the right hand, creating them on ready and adding them to the scene. Then in the process function, I cleaned it up a bit by creating a function to extract the dictionary from the raw bytes. After parsing to a dictionary, we can check each hand individually, and if they're not null, pass the data to the parse function of the hand script. In the hand script, we need to spawn something to visualize the landmarks. I decided on 3D spheres. Instantiate mesh instances for all 21 landmarks and assign sphere meshes to them. To keep track of the landmarks and update their position later, we add them to a list. Now we can fill in the parse function. Iterate over all landmark spheres for this hand and parse the data from the JSON array into a vector 3. The coordinates are normalized from 0 to 1, but in our 3D world, the center is the world origin, and we have a different scale. By subtracting 0.5 on all axes, we center the hands around the origin. To get to world coordinates, we will need to invert the y-axis. For the hand to feel more like a clone instead of a mirror, I am also going to invert the x-axis, so it faces away from us. Finally, we can actually see our hands in Godot. This is so cool. I could play around with this for hours. You can also draw lines between the landmarks in 3D, similar to the visualization that you see in Python. I created a simple mapping of landmark indices to connect. I again use mesh instances for all the lines, setting them up in the ready function. In the process loop, we update the hand lines by going through the mapping and getting the start and end positions for each line from the landmarks. Finally, I use a line renderer script to draw the lines using immediate meshes. Now, if you run the project, the hand landmarks will be connected with lines as well. Neat, right? Now remember, you always have to run both the Godot and the Python project for this to work. As I mentioned before, this is the main limitation of this project right now. It is really hard to distribute to players with these two separate parts. Nonetheless, I hope you found this tutorial interesting and learned something new. It takes a lot of time to create these videos and I appreciate you sticking around until the end. I am currently looking into ways to make this project better for distribution, or just have the entire hand detection part in Godot as well. The project is on GitHub, including some more polish and the demo scenes with the physics and bullets. You can find the link in the description below. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you soon. Take care.